Okay, so it's been 24 hours since I put on the first coat. Just note the towels I came back out about 2-3 hours after I put the first coat on and put some damp towels over it, so because some parts were drying faster than others and I didn't want the cement to crack. So you might want to do that, or just read the directions on whatever kind of patcher you get and they'll tell you what to do. But I'm going to take my first look at what I've got. Oop, almost broke it. Okay, so actually looks like come out pretty good. Well, there's already something living on it, a little spider. Ugh. Anyway, I don't know what happened right there. Looks like a part might have fused to the towel. I'll have to be careful about that on this next one. See, these parts are still a little wet, I guess, from the towel. It feels pretty solid though. Well, see this other side. Okay, definitely see the difference from where I had the towel and where I didn't. That actually looks pretty good. Definitely need to, though. I didn't add any color on this first coat, and I actually haven't picked up my coloring yet, so I'm not going to add it on the second coat either, but I do think on the final coat I am going to do some coloring because I'm not too big on just the plain cement. But as you can see, it come out pretty nice. The only thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to do one more, another coat right now, exactly the same as I did it before, so probably not going to film that again. But anyway, after I get the next coat on, I'll take a quick shot and then let it dry another 24 hours. Alright, I just wanted to show real quick because I actually, last time I realized I had it too watery for the camera. This is about the consistency I found to work best. Just pretty smooth, pasty mud. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and I got this stirred up. Gonna put this on. Oh yeah, another tip, go ahead and get you a good bit of brushes. I got 4 brushes because this is my one from yesterday. Obviously it's wrecked. Good stir stick, not good for brushing anymore. Alright, so be back in a minute. Okay, so got the second coat on. Second coat had to work even faster than the first one because that first coat just sucked all the water right out of the second one. So my mix was actually drying pretty quick, and today is about 10 degrees warmer than yesterday, so that didn't help. But went on pretty good, looked pretty good. Big thing now is I went back through and read my directions, and I'm glad I put these towels on last night because I almost didn't do it. It says first 24 hours of drying, it needs to stay continually moist in warm weather. So this time I got a couple extra towels for my second coat. Made sure they're pretty wet. I mean, not sopping wet because I don't want too much excess water running onto there, but enough to where it's going to keep the cement wet without running or coming off or anything like that. Big thing is too, since I'm gonna be gone all day, I'll probably just come out here tomorrow morning and pour a little water, spread some water with like a watering can evenly over the towels. Again, not getting them completely drenched, but wet enough to where they'll last till I get off of work. Another couple tips I noticed while doing this, as you can see here, this time I got my board elevated off my work table, because last time I left it on there and some of the wet cement on top of the work table dried to the edges, so when I went to lift it, it broke off a couple pieces. Now, nothing major, but enough to where I had to recoat it again, so we don't want that happening. Also, another thing is, before you go to put your second coat on, I noticed there's a couple bits of this little round styrofoam pieces that were knocked loose from brushing the concrete on, and it dried on there. I just went through and they picked right off, just picked them right off. That way when I put my second coat, it's nice and smooth and doesn't look like wet cat litter. So just kind of do that. You can go through, you might even have a couple bristle hairs that get left behind. You should be able to pull them right out before you put your next coat on. So now I'm going to let this dry for 24 hours, and tomorrow I should be putting on my final coat, and I'm also going to mix in some color with that. So hopefully everything comes out good, and they seem to be holding up pretty well. The concrete's definitely stiffened up that styrofoam. Just be mindful too, especially if you do like I did in several pieces together for your backboard. Be mindful of those joints, that when you go to lift it up, the weight doesn't tear it off. So it might actually have been better for me to go out and buy a solid piece of foam board for that backing. But as long as I'm careful, I think it'll be okay until the point that I get it siliconed on the back of the tank. But until then, take it easy. Okay, so this is my second coat. I went ahead and let it dry an extra 12 hours, so 36 hours. It's set. This side looking pretty good. It's got a little bit of a rough texture that I'm kinda not liking. I'm gonna smooth out a little more, but that's all to your preference. This side especially, I think I might have, on that thicker mix I done the second time, I might have let it get a little too dry, but it's okay because it's on here good. But what I'm going to do to correct it, I noticed the first coat I did where it was extra watery made it really smooth. So this last, hopefully what will be my last coat, I got the color additive here, and there's my cement mix. I'm going to go ahead and mix up my color and put my color on. Now, one thing I was kind of really bummed out about with this is they only had 3 colors to choose from out of both places I went, and so there wasn't a lot of options. I was really hoping to do a lot of different things when coloring these to make them look like natural rock instead of all just the same color. So one idea I had is I'm going to go ahead and do this final coat all the dark charcoal, and then later I'm going to mix up a really thin watery batch of just the straight regular cement, since it's this lighter color, and just kind of dab it on and run it through in like veins of it and spots to kind of give it, you know, some two-tone color going on, and make it look a little more like natural rock. But I'm going to test that out later, so we'll get to see how that goes. But right now I'm going to do the final coat on these. And then also I decided, since these are turning out so well, I have a 10-gallon tank for my daughter's room. I'm going to go ahead and do her a background. So on this I'll actually video. I found some different ways of running the brush to work good, that worked well, and we should be able to show you those. So, alright, update you in a minute. Okay, so I'm mixing the color up right now. First you do it dry, add all the cement you think you'll need, and then I put about 5 spoonfuls of the coloring powder in with it, and I just kind of stirred it up with the spoon. And then what got it really good is I just kind of picked it up and shook it around, and got it all mixed in there pretty good, so it's all solid, even tone. And now I'm going to add my water, stir it up, and get going. Now, it's a little warm today, so it's probably going to set fast, so since I don't have 4 hands, I'm going to have to cut the video off again like last time. But when I do a little bit thicker mix, maybe on the smaller 10-gallon side, I can show a little more. Okay, so just finished the second coat. As you can see, it's pretty dark right now, but it should lighten up a little bit once it dries, and hopefully have a little bit more of a natural look. Right now it just looks like I spray painted them black, so but even if it stays a little dark, that's okay, because I could always go back and put some highlights on it, I guess, with the lighter straight cement color. Now I'm gonna go ahead and start putting a little bit of this first coat I have left on the 10-gallon. So I think I'm gonna go ahead real quick and add some cement. Okay, so I got thickened up there pretty good. Go ahead and start applying it. Oh, piece a little smaller, so it's moving quite a bit, but the first coat was really difficult to get to go on because it didn't want to adhere real well. The more coats you have, the better it is. It actually starts to just get sucked right into the cement. But at first, it's good to kind of put it on in this kind of steepling, dabbing motion, and then if you kind of swirl it a little bit as you do that, it works it in to all those little divots and cracks and crevices. So just when you go put it on, just do that, and then once you get like on your second or third layer, then you can kind of brush over it too to kind of even it out. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and put this camera down so I can hold this still. I'll be back in a minute. Now, one little detail. I don't know if you can see it or not in this, but there are some brush hairs that got left behind. You might not be able to make it out in this, but what I'm doing is wherever there's a little bristle that got left behind, it leaves kind of a goofy looking line across where it is. Now, it's semi-dry now, and all I'm doing, and it's getting rid of it, is I'm just rubbing my finger over where the bristle is, and that dislodges it so I can pull it out, and then it also adds a little bit of a texture to it and gets rid of that line mark, and looks pretty good actually. It's very effective. So just to let you know, that way you don't, because my bristles, I guess I had some pretty cheap brushes. I actually got a lot of bristles on here, so if you do that, even if you aren't able to get the bristle completely off, after it's dry, you should be able to just brush over it and it should come right off. As long as you don't let it dry under the surface of the cement, you should be good. Alright. Now once these dry completely, in 24 hours, I'm going to submerge them in a tub of water, either a bathtub, a Rubbermaid container, or anything like that. And I'm going to stick an old internal filter I have inside with it to kind of blow the water around, circulate the water around. And I'm going to do this for 1 week, changing the water every day and testing the pH. I want to get it to where the pH stabilizes